quickly, by popular demand,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to give an update on my ear infection at the top of the show.
Drippy ear. Makes me want to sing Smelly Cat.
How about gross?
You should make a song. Drippy ear.
No, drippy smelly ear.
Smelly cat.
Ear infection's still there. And I might try. I don't know if you can see it.
I don't want to.
Probably not. It's deep. Did some itching this morning, but it is better. But I got some texts about that. So yeah, my ear infection is doing better, and I have stopped using my AirPods at all.
You got not even using the foamy right now.
They're not in yet.
Good idea.
They're not in. They come tomorrow.
I wouldn't even use them until this is cleared up because then you'll just contaminate them.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds. I don't think that's Dr. Jill. I don't think that's right. But I'm with you.
Better safe than sorry. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think I'm putting anything in my ear because it stings right now. Like anything, even unless I'm itching it. You know how
So mom was right.
Yep.
Anything sharper than your elbow
shouldn't go in your ear. But oh God, it feels good. Remember when, I'm married, ladies. When you'd get athlete's foot back when we would actually work out and you'd like get the itchy foot and you'd like grind it on the carpet until it almost bled. Yeah. That's what I want to do inside my ear hole now.
That's, I get that totally.
Oh.
Good morning, Christy.
Hey, Christy. We're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. If you're listening to this later in the day, make sure every Friday around 9-ish, we're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
I'm trying to find, I said I had that message.
Mm-hmm. You can't find it?
There it is. And then I got another one.
Is this a text? Like a 402-403-9478 text?
No. This is a text to my cell phone.
Okay.
Where'd it go? Did I delete it? I don't rarely do that.
Like another real estate one?
Yeah.
What honey holes you drop into in the last couple of days where you're getting real estate spams?
I don't know. And I don't know how my address is connected. Somewhere, something.
It's got to be somewhere. I mean,
my address connected to my cell phone?
Somewhere, like on Amazon. Your phone, at least on my account, my phone number is attached to my address. So when something gets delivered, I get notifications on my phone. Yeah. So therefore, they're tied.
Always do.
So yours, that's probably where.
But what did they have well, we know Facebook. That's what they were talking about. That whole Facebook thing when it went down the other day. Mm-hmm. That there's rumor that there was a huge data breach on that. Now, see,
because of that, or during it? During it.
But then there's also rumor that it was intentional.
I figured it was intentional.
Because, the whole, I'm going to say air quotes, whistleblower that was on 60 Minutes, who, by the way, the next day got a verified Twitter account.
Are you serious? That's hilarious.
And I'm not even going to tell you who her PR firm and who's handling her right now.
Oh, is it Fauci's wife?
No, but it's...
Because everything ties back to Fauci's wife
right?
with you.
It's totally inappropriate. And whatever.
Inappropriate like...
As in wrong. Not as in...
porn?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No,
okay.
not that inappropriate.
Okay.
But anyway, that they're saying that it was kind of like one of those, like we talked about. It's one of those, look over here, don't look over here while we're doing this and we're doing 100%. This. That one of those things.
Although I wonder if it really caught Facebook off guard that she was going to be on 60 Minutes. I'm sure they knew in advance that something was going to come out on 60. So the fact that they waited until the day after it came out is kind of suspect, like it maybe wasn't intentional.
Or they sent her.
They sent her? Like she was a plant?
Just think about it. Just throwing things out. Just think about
it.
That
didn't make sense. Like, would they plant her to out themselves or to distract?
She didn't really out anything.
Well, but she confirmed what your people have thought for a long time.
My people. She really didn't confirm.
Well, didn't she say that? And I know. Well, okay, so like basically what she said on 60 Minutes was that Facebook had been feeding people things that would make them upset during and before and during the January 6th riots in Washington. Is that right?
And I'm not even thinking about that. The language that caught my attention more than anything was how she kept tying it into girls and their perception of themselves, and that it would make children feel bad about themselves, and that there was information on there that makes young women. It's kind of like the long time. I mean, this has been going on forever, and you think about all the women's magazines and the way they present the models and the way that it affects young girls and their body image. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's some talk about that it's like it's framing things.
But like, okay, I completely buy that 100%. Yeah. But like, to what end? Why would making girls do that? Is it to make them
so they can have more control of Facebook? Supposedly, it's going to be a control of who gets to talk. Basically, is to have a right to censor.
Right. Okay.
Because that was the whole argument in the very beginning, was whether or not they're a publishing company. So then they're accountable for what's said on their platform. And if they are, then they're accountable for everything. If they're just a free forum, they can just say, hands off.
And they should be able to edit
you guys
anything.
Just go ahead and, and they shouldn't be editing.
Or taking things down.
Right.
Or whatever. Yeah, that
telling
makes sense.
people they can't talk. Either everybody can talk or they're responsible for what everybody says. And the argument being, if you're responsible then for what everybody says, why is there still so much bad stuff on a lot of these social platforms that are wanting to control what's said?
We've talked about that before, where specifically, I know Twitter had nothing to do with this,
right.
But on Twitter, where people get into Twitter jail or Facebook jail for saying something stupid, whether it's about the vaccine or whatever, but then you can still find child porn on there. Like, how is that possible?
Right.
Yeah.
So if they're responsible for, if they're claiming responsibility and that they're trying to keep things together on one side, and thank you, Christy, I appreciate that, in air quotes. Like that, your people. Anyway, but if they're wanting to be held accountable, or they're wanting to say, oh, we get to say that you can't say that, that's misinformation, and that's fine, but let's clean up your backyard.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Because there's some really disgusting stuff on. As a matter of fact, there are a couple people that, and in particular in the trafficking industry, that are on Facebook and on Twitter that I follow, and they were very hopeful when they heard this woman was coming forward, and also the language that she used, because she mentioned young girls and the danger that can be posed, et cetera. She was hopeful, one in particular, that that's the direction this was going to go. And then it didn't go there, that they were going to clean that up, that she was going to take it to its natural conclusion and say, and thus we need to get all these accounts off of social media. But she stopped short of that. And it was more of a way to give them more of a chance to say who can be on their platform or who can't, but they're not talking about those people. They're not talking about those accounts that are trafficking.
See, I don't like talking to you about this stuff, because I like having my little thing in my head and I run with it. It's so much simpler, so much easier, and going about my day. Now you throw these little nuggets out there and then I question everything. I hate it.
That's what I want you to do.
So much work, anxiety.
Okay, then I'm going to still make you anxious, probably. I watched.
It's not hard to do.
I watched Dave Chappelle's special last night on Netflix, The Closer.
Oh yeah,
the new one. This controversial.
I have not watched the new one yet.
Yeah, it's very good. And I see where there's some concern about some of the things that he says, but he's always been that way.
I just love, he's such a smart guy. He's so funny. And I love Chappelle.
I do too. I mean, and I didn't used to understand him. You know what I mean? And didn't really know a lot about him. And so I went and looked up some stuff, and I was going to just throw this out there at you because it kind of makes sense. His family, just looking at his parents, and I believe it was his dad. Let me see if I can find real quick where I had this marked, and then I got sidetracked. Shocker, right?
Big shock.
But if you get a chance to watch it, it is really good, and it is cussy. But
well,
all
yeah,
his stuff it's Chappelle. Let me see if I can find, where is that at? But it talks about, because his dad's an educator and his mom was in politics. I mean, highly educated, and he's not stupid.
No.
But I think the thing that makes people mad, and right now with this particular show, there was the controversy, they're going to cancel him and all this stuff. And he's like, I love it. He said, I love it. You're not going to cancel me. You can't cancel me. And he talks about J.K. Rowling being canceled for saying what she said and standing by what she said. And he said, it's like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to throw things out there. And I've got people in my life on both sides of the fence and living all different kinds of lives. He says, I just want to point out the hypocrisies. That's basically what he's wanting to do.
Okay.
And he says, I'm not going to worry about hurting somebody's feelings because of one particular instance when we're talking about the grand scheme of things.
Makes total sense.
So, yep. So anyway, it's really good. And I never expected to be watching it last night, but it flipped up in my suggestions. I'm like, okay, let's give it a whirl.
I just absolutely love him.
Mm-hmm. All good.
Okay, let's go to our text at 402-403-9478. So, good morning, Pat and JT. This is Peggy. First thing I want to tell you, I absolutely love your podcast. Listen every morning when getting ready for work. JT, you mentioned yesterday you got a text about selling your house. She says, I'm a realtor, and I can tell you that 99% of the time, anyone legitimate who wants to buy your house is going to give you their name and not just their phone number. So I'm guessing this is obviously spam. There are legitimate people out there who want to buy houses and resell them. But again, I think they would give you at least their first name. So be careful I didn't think you would ever click on that link, but yeah. So Peggy, thank you for the text.
And I did not.
That's good. I didn't think you would. I didn't think
that
you
was
would.
not just a no or a hell no.
No, that was the F no. That was a beepable. We don't beep a lot of stuff.
Not happening. Not happening. And yeah, and I wish I could find that other text that I got too. And I'm seeing some of the messages here. Tara, good morning. You were awesome too, Tara. Les just jumped on to see how Pat's rash is doing.
Oh, hey, Les, it's fine. I mean, it still hurts, itchy, but it's getting better. It wasn't drippy this morning when I woke up.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Christy wants to know if I play the piano. I do not.
Do you play any musical? Have you ever played it? You played what? Yeah. Clarinet?
I played like 6 different instruments because I couldn't make up my mind. Shocker. No commitment, right? It was early on.
Are they all like in the same family? Woodwind or like percussion?
I played flute. I never played like trombone or trumpet or I played saxophone, clarinet, bassoon.
The hell's a bassoon?
It's got the little thin and then there's the other one too, and I can't remember the name of it right now. I played mostly every woodwind. I just
a long
move
time
around.
ago, because you played whatever your mixture of. I played clarinet for a month until I got kicked out because I had no clue what I was doing. And Mr. Frederick's like, dude, you got to just go. Because did you even practice? And I didn't know what I was doing. We wanted to start a Pat and JT band, like from people that were in high school and just get a band together and just be absolute train wreck.
Right.
That could be the name of the band too. Absolute train wreck. I
think we should. I have no idea. I own one of those instruments and I don't know where it is. Unless we sold it at a garage.
We could find one at Goodwill. I'm so happy. I know that you're supposed to encourage your children to do anything and everything. I'm so happy that neither one of them took up. Bennett played guitar for a hot minute. Sophie played the piano for 3 lessons, and they were done. And I didn't go back like, oh, come on, guys, let's go. Because I didn't want practice time to all night, like for 4 hours. For hours and hours and hours. I just didn't want it.
So it's like, well, I tried.
I know, like, hey, I took him to Dietz for the free 6 lessons, and that was it.
I tried. It's kind of like when Sophia was out for track.
Yeah, she tried.
She tried.
She tried for a whole year, and then that second year, she tried for a practice and a half.
I don't blame her.
And she has, and then I don't know if I should out her or not. This is really funny. So in school, they have I don't know what they're called, but it's like a quarterly or once a semester, like a fitness challenge dealy. I think it's for the state or for the whatever country. I don't know. But anyway, they have to run certain distances back and forth, and they're timed and how many laps in the gym you go, whatever. And then they compare it to the previous semester. So she came home the other night. She's like, oh, so we had our whatever they're called today. She goes, yeah. I said, how many times do you go back and forth in the gym? She goes, 21. I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Whatever. You're in school clothes. And she goes, yeah, well, we did push-ups too. I did 2. I said, okay, that's whatever. She goes, I told him I did 25. I'm like, what, dude? I know who can do 25. Is she
trying to get the presidential seal or something?
I don't know what she's but she's like, only going 21 times around, but has freakish upper body strength where she can pound out 25 push-ups.
Right? Speaking of which, did you see the challenge that was out there? I posted a video on Twitter. It was a TikTok that's out there that there's 2 girls and 2 guys. And they said, okay, so apparently this is according to physics and the laws of nature, women can do this and men can't.
I've seen that.
And so they go down on their elbows, or they go down, into a push up, and then they go down on their elbows and their hands, and then they take their hands away, and the women just stay there, and the men crash.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Try it.
I haven't tried.
I want a video of that.
My cousin Mark tried it. I saw him post. He posted that or sent us a text, and he face planted.
He was the guy in the service.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So of all people, he should be able to do that.
Yeah.
So you don't even
his wife and Amy, his wife's in the service too, so they're both freakishly strong, I'm sure. But yeah, he I don't know why that is. Do you know why? Like you always do research on everything. Why is that?
I don't care. Girls win. Girls win.
Whatever.
If I care, I'll look.
I don't care. Girls win.
And by the way, Christy, this isn't my house.
Is that why she thought that's hilarious?
This isn't my house. It's a really good green screen.
And what's really funny is that before, if you notice on Jill's left side, her left side, our right, as we're looking at the screen, see that hole? She had to tuck some hair up in there because the green screen was making her headphones disappear.
Right.
So yeah, that's her. It's a super fancy house.
Kinda. Yeah, the boss said something about that too.
I was like, I pay you too much.
Right? And I said, no. I wish I did play the piano though, because it would be kind of fun. But
it's
no,
so
I don't.
hard. Like you see somebody playing it, you're like, I wish I could play that, but it's such a commitment.
Have you ever seen that too? The guy, God, I'm so stuck on the stupid TikToks and stuff, but he's on everywhere. But he's in, I don't know what country. He has a bunch of cats, but he plays the piano, and he'll have these rescue cats that he has, and they're sitting on his lap, or one is, and just like falls asleep on the keys while he's playing these lullabies, basically.
Oh, nice.
And then he'll take their paws and play the keys, and like. It is.
Oh my gosh.
It is so comforting.
Is it? Soothing?
Very soothing. I can't remember his name, but he pops up every once in a while. It's really good. I like it. Other than that, let's see here. I guess I was going to throw out one next door. Because,
from your neighborhood?
In the vicinity. And only because this one kind of touches on something that I remember you struggling with years ago, going back to your kids. Somebody apologized, though, on Nextdoor.
Okay.
And just said to any parents that saw me get out of my car at Russell Middle School to at the drop-off line to tell the people in the 4 cars parked in the circle drop-off line to keep moving. I would like to apologize.
Oh, nice. Everybody hits that boiling point in those stupid drop-off lines.
Very frustrating to have people impede the movement of the drop-off line by parking because they're there before the doors open at 7:15. Parents who want to park should try the parking lot.
Or the side streets there at Russell. That's exactly where my kids went, was Russell. And we park on those little side streets. It's great in and out.
It says when people park in the circle, it slows down the movement of the line because the people who use the drop-off line properly expect the vehicle in front of them to move after their child gets out. I had to die because I'm like, oh my God, I remember this conversation from 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And then everybody in here is like, no need to apologize. No need to.
We all get it. We all get you hit that frustration level. But I don't think, unless it's like storming and raining, I don't think you have any obligation to get your kid as close as possible to the school.
Somebody even said that. They said it was 65 yesterday. What's going to happen when it's bad?
Right.
This is crazy.
Like they can run in the snow. There were a handful of times that I actually would drop Sophia off at the door, and that's if it was raining. Other than that, if it was cold, it was still the same spot.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I like one of them in here. I've always taught my kids to move fast, be ready. Backpacks on, shoes tied, drop and roll.
Houston Alexander used to say, as he dropped, he had like 4 or 5 kids dropping off at different places, tuck and roll, bitches. And he would just push them out of the car. That's what you got to do sometimes.
Well, I'm wondering, when these schools were built, obviously it was a number of years ago. Some are newer than others. But when are they going to take into account the number of cars that have to come through to drop off their children at elementary schools, and even create kind of like we have at the airport, the TSA line that zigzags back and forth, even if it's a parking lot, to take you back and forth. And I remember doing that at an event, goodness sakes, it might have been at Champions or something, but it was a pickup for an event, a charity event that was going on, and they barricaded the parking lot so that the cars would come in and you would snake back and forth to go through.
That's not a bad idea.
It kept moving. Nobody could park. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they made use of all that extra space instead of having people backed up out onto Harrison, and down the street, and everybody sitting there at a stop. But there's got to be a way they can.
I don't know how they
when planning the neighborhoods,
because they knew that. I mean, Russell's not that old. Ackerman's not that old. Those the West Omaha schools aren't that old. We had vehicles 15 years ago. Like they could have planned that better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the answer is. But parents are always going to be pissed. It's always going to be.
What school is on 156 south of Dodge on the west side? I don't know which one it is, but that 2-lane, because that 156 to Blondo, Pacific, is so narrow.
Yeah.
And then the cars are parked on the side, and it's like a drop off on the one side, so they're pulled over, and so people are trying to squeeze through on this little 2-lane.
Yeah, it's like PTSD, man. When I get locked in those pickup drop-off lines now, I get sweaty. It's just I don't like it. I don't like
All right,
it. And I feel bad for the teachers that are out there.
Oh, I know, and they said too they don't come out till 7:15. That's when it's like the people don't come out to control traffic until they open the doors for the kids to come in. Maybe they should have traffic control step out a little earlier.
Yeah,
to help avoid some of these issues.
Or let your little dirtbags walk a little bit.
Which, by the way, Denise said, I refuse to drop my kids off. They walk to elementary no matter the weather. Dress appropriately, carry an umbrella. Yeah. Hey, Christy, fake background. Yes, Christiane. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is a fake background. And another one on here, too, says, don't you hate when you honk or show frustration for someone in front of you, and then you pull out and look at them glaringly, and you know them?
Oh, I've never done that. That's funny.
Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I I love it when you think when you go and you shoot somebody a glare, like a mean glare, and you think that that's going to and they don't care. Like you look at, they look at you and they couldn't care less.
Or they turn into the same parking lot you're going to.
Right. It's happened before.
Oops. If they do, I just keep driving.
Do you?
Whoops, just turned around. I didn't mean to come here. I'm going somewhere else.
They win.
Because I'm a chicken.
I know. I hate confrontation.
Oh, my God. Kiewit.
Is that what the school you're talking about?
Cindy just said it's Kiewit.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's really, that's a tough one. I hate driving down that street when that's going on. I feel bad for the parents, too, because I know they're frustrated.
Yeah. You just got to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath before you go.
So there you go, guys.
Thank you guys if you tuned into our Facebook Live, YouTube Live, we appreciate it. If not, do that every Friday around 9. We are on at Pat and JT or It's Pat and JT on Facebook and It's Pat and JT on YouTube Live.
It might be closer to 9:15.
Yeah. We'll give a window. Kind of like the HVAC guys. We're sometime between 9 and 10. Between 8:45 and 10.
We'll deliver between 9 and noon.
Yep. That's our new tagline. We'll deliver between 9 and noon. So we thank you guys for downloading and subscribing to our podcast as well. And if you rate it and review it, it helps other people find it. So,
by the way, Pam went back and listened to yesterday's episode to find out about the ear issue.
Oh, I'll give you an update on Monday.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.